So,
Yeah.
well, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out.
Sure. Yeah. I'm
So,
excited to be here.
me too. So, before we get into your life as a CEO and financial advisor, and I want to know 4 years ago, we were wrapping our heads around this pandemic. No one knew what it was going to do, how long it was going to last. Now we're kind of in this post-pandemic era. How did you survive it and how did it change you?
Oh man, like in business or life?
Well, I guess the Venn diagrams do kind of bleed together a bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it was like, although it was a horrible thing to go through, it was like it stopped me in my tracks. And what I mean by that is I was like, very traveling a lot, going to conferences, just go, go, go. And I have 3 kids, and now I have to figure out how do we get them educated and how do we survive this? And thankfully, my business was already in a place we had already adopted Zoom and virtual. So that was a pretty easy shift. It was more a harder shift to figure out how to balance mom, getting these kids educated, and still running a successful business and being a business where people, I mean, we manage people's money. So we had to be available. There was a lot of all hands on deck. And so it was interesting because it was a slowing down. It was like being available for clients. And I don't know, it just like we made it through successfully, and we adopted a lot of things, innovated, created different service models since then. So it's been really good.
So let's get into the heart and soul of exactly what you do on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third grade students. It's career day. And one of the kids says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
Man, depends on which day.
There you go.
Yeah, so I like to say I help people win with money, they'd be like, "Win? What does that mean?" Like help people be successful and build a strong financial future. So a lot of us don't learn about money and how to manage money. We actually learn by default by watching our caretakers, and that sometimes can instill different mindsets around money. So for me, what I love to do when I'm in that coaching advising role is really helping people understand, um, are they holding themselves back with money beliefs? And then how do they actually like move forward and build a successful financial future? So
It's
that's like the mindset piece of it.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
so essential because it's one of those things in school that really isn't a part of the curriculum. So for kids to be able to understand that, it's huge.
Absolutely. So you have all the practical things like how do you set up investments? How do you pick your investments? Do I need a Roth IRA or a regular IRA? Like I have my first job and now I have a 401k. Should I do that? So it's all those practical things, yes. But once you learn those, it's like okay, you've got that. But I see so many people not even getting to that point because they either don't have the education or they just don't think that that's a priority because there's other priorities in their lives now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about what you wanted to be in the third grade. What was your dream?
What was my dream? Gosh, maybe a dolphin trainer.
Okay, there you go.
So, but I started in finance when I was 19, and so my grandparents, specifically my grandpa, taught me about stocks. I remember sitting on his lap and watching the ticker go across
Wow.
the Bloomberg screen. And then my parents had a very successful, not, I mean, I wouldn't money story. And so it's not like we were, had a lot of money, but they talked about money. They invested. They were smart with their money. So I got that education from them, and I realize now what a gift that is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been kind of a part of your family lineage, so to speak. Um, so let me, oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say for sure because and I don't know if that was intentional or
Right.
just like that's how they were raised around money, being responsible and investing and um talking about it, communicating about it because a lot of people just don't know how to communicate about it and it's kind of a taboo subject.
Yeah. Well, my other incarnation is as a jazz radio host. So I'll talk to some musicians sometimes that either have famous parents that are musicians or just they came up in a family and it's just a part of what they did. It's not even anything that was conscious that like I'm doing this to them. It was
Yeah.
just that was by osmosis what they were absorbed into. It was the environment they lived in.
Exactly, and you don't realize, "Oh, like, I know a lot of things,"
Yeah.
and so it's like when it's your gift or your unique ability, if you will, it's like you don't understand that superpower until you get out in the world and you're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, wow, okay, I need to help people with this."
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you this. Who's been a consistent hero or an inspiration in your career path in your life?
Mm. Well, I would say definitely my parents. They live 5 minutes away. They're big supporters. I would say that, there's those they are that supporter of me. But then when I think mentor, I early on, I remember I was 20, I was working at a bank in the investment department, and there was a customer that came in every day. Well, he was a CPA, he had his own business, and he's the one at 23 that came to me and said, "Julia, you're really good at this. Like, have you thought about starting your own business? I would help you." And I did. And so at 23, I left the bank and started my company. And he believed in me when I didn't believe in me. And we just actually celebrated his 50th year in business and of doing taxes. And it's just amazing to look back on that journey. And he was always there. He is my CPA, so it's like it was like business counsel, mentoring, uh, just like when you have someone that you can just go to with uh, life problems, business problems, all of that, and he knew my whole life, and so that's been a really cool mentor in my life. Yeah.
So if you can meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find fascinating, who would that be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. My thought would be Warren Buffett.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, only because, like, my heart is going out to him right now because of losing his lifelong friend, Charlie Munger, and it's like he's navigating, he's changing, but there's so much wisdom, in what he's built, how he's invested, his principles that have been that he doesn't waver from, and I feel like he has a lot of faith, so I it would be, him for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always blown away by same car, same house, same kind of routine. There's just so many things that, are a part of, you know, the rich stay richer for a reason. I mean, there's a level of, not going out there and doing things that are foolish. So he's always been good about being grounded
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
So let me ask you this. What is your motivation every day to do the work that you do? Because you have to help people get to a better place, but you also have to evolve as a human being. What is that for you?
Yeah, I question myself all the time because I am financially independent. I have practiced what I preached out there, and it's like, ooh, I get to decide now what I want to do with my life. And oh, I decided to write this new book. I just started decided to create this new financial planning program for people. And so I'm like, why am I working so hard again? But it's like a real big passion of mine to really help people that want to be helped. And I know a lot of my industry, as they get more successful, they actually start saying, okay, I only want to work with millionaires, or I only want to work with people that have 5 million or 10 million above. And that just has never felt right for me because we want to help people that want to be helped. And I've seen so many people inherit money or, "Hey, Julia, I make a lot of money. I just can't seem to save it." Like, but they're trying, and so that those are the people that we wanna just partner with, mentor, guide, and really figure out so when you can see someone get out of debt and then, like, stay out of debt and build the right kind of debt, right? Or
Yeah.
the wrong kind of debt, but, like, when you can see people really make progress, uh it shows up in all aspects of their lives. Their relationships get bigger, their business gets more successful because they get the missing pieces and put it into place where I mean, I've helped a client, they came to me with, student loan and all this debt, and I've walked beside them. They sold their business a couple years ago for $35 million. So
Wow.
it's really neat to see the aha moments, and then they got it, and then they're on their way. And then we can just be that, supporting person to, or supporting company to like help them manage their wealth.
So as somebody that clearly has a bead on what's going on with the financial side of our lives, if you had a dream tonight, ran into the 18-year-old version of you, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained, nothing that would send a
Mhm.
ripple through time, but just pure advice, what advice would you impart on your young version? And would that version of you listen?
Mm. Well, I remember my dad setting me up with my very first mutual fund when I was 18, and I started saving $25 a month. And although I've invested every month since then, I think I would have said, "Hey, invest more,"
Yeah,
right? Or I have to learn the lesson. Like when the market's down, like so 2001, the 9/11, like the market totally went down. Everyone was in fear. What's going on? The world's ending. Like I was licensed at that point maybe for 4 years, but I didn't like put more money in when I could have.
yeah,
Same thing in 2008, 2009. Same thing in COVID, right? In
yeah.
March. Like the market was down 35%. I could have invested. I do this every day. But even like our emotions take over. So I think it would be going back and saying, "Hey, like from a monetary standpoint, like, hey, go all in on this when the market goes down like this." Would I have listened? I don't know. It's hard to think, but I try not to have too many regrets in life. But
Yeah,
I think that is one where, like, every time I've done that, even a little bit, it's like, woo, it's crazy what happens 3 years, 5 years
yeah.
from that point.
Absolutely. So you get to dispense good advice to your clients. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think investing in myself.
Yeah,
So we can say, hey, invest in real estate, invest in stocks, do all that. But early on, there was like I wanted to grow and evolve, and someone suggested to do a program, like a coaching program, where I'm investing in myself. So I'm the one that has to show up and implement and get a good return on this investment. Because if I put my money there, then I think it was like 10% of my income at the point to choose to invest in this program, which was really investment in me. And that when I look back, those were one of those moments, like, because I did that, I was able to go here. I was able to go 10x. So I think I'm the first one, especially with my entrepreneurial clients, to say, invest in yourself. Like if you want this to work, you have to put money behind you and invest in yourself, maybe before you set up your retirement account and all this stuff. So I think that was the best advice that I had taken from someone.
so what's of all of the things that you've done in your life and evolved into, what are you the proudest of?
All right. I'll say I have 3 kids, but I always like to say I have 4 kids because one of them is my business.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
But I would say it's like I have amazing kids. Like,
yeah.
one is getting married, and my husband and I have been married for 28 years. And I think what I'm proud of is being able to be, yes, a great mom, but then also being a great example as a business owner and an entrepreneur and a speaker and an author and all those cool things to my kids too. Like they get to see all of that. They're part of it. They were all at my book launch and book signing last week. So it's like, it's really to be able to navigate all those different roles in our lives with successfully, although it's not always success or balanced, but it's to be able to say, like we kept this all together and we figured it out.
So talk to me a little bit about your book.
Yeah. So the book is called Money Loves You.
Yes, it
Quite the
does.
title.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Exactly. It's a bold statement. And what I've figured with this title is some people are like, ooh, yeah, I like that. And some people are like, money's not a person. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Uh, but it is, we all have this personal relationship with money. Um, Not that money is a person, but we do have this relationship with money. And it's really, is it positive or negative? Because who is going to be more successful with money? The person that has a positive relationship and believes that money loves them or not? So, I think it's just this fun way to get people to kind of dig into their money story and their beliefs. And a lot of that lies in our subconscious. So it's helping people really reframe that if needed and create this even better relationship with money.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, readers, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Mm. I like to think of myself as number one, like love, and what I mean by that is there's like unconditional love. Like we all have different things we're not proud of, especially around money. There's all the shame and guilt, and so I think if I can be that unconditional, loving friend, guide, mentor, mother, partner, spouse, like that's who I want to be in the world. And I'm an activator. So I want to be able to help people take action. And so helping people stay accountable to their future selves, whatever that is, because we all want different things. And that allows me to treat my kids independently and differently, my clients. So it's like meeting them where they're at and holding this space of love and grace. And even though you've made mistakes, like let's move forward.
So if anyone wants to get your book, anyone wants to reach out, they want to hire you, they want your sage advice, any of the good business, where do they go?
Yeah, so my personal website is Julia M, as in money, M Carlson, juliamcarlson.com, and that will give you all the things.
Excellent. Julia, this has been wonderful. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time. Best of luck with the book launch.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.